In this lesson, we're going to learn what is one-point perspective and how to draw with one-point perspective to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface. For this purpose, we're going to, of course, draw some cubes to show the concept. So let's get started. The first step is to define the horizon line. The horizon line is a horizontal line that just goes across the page and it divides the sky from the ground. Now it's important to note that the horizon line doesn't always mean the actual horizon line between the ground and the sky. A more accurate name is probably eye level. The vanishing point must be placed on the horizon line, no matter where the horizon line is. So the horizon line can be placed on top like this if you're looking up, or it can be placed on the bottom of the page if you're looking down. We'll place the horizon line right in the middle of the paper. I'm showing it with my blue pencil. Next, we'll place a vanishing point on the horizon line. Since we're going to draw a few cubes to begin with, the shape would be a square or rectangle. I'm going to draw my first cube right on the horizon line. Do keep this in mind that the height and the width are always going to be vertical and horizontal. We'll draw 4 lines from each of the corners of that rectangle to the vanishing point, and it's how these lines recede as they go backwards into space. I'm using different colors for the pencils to show what's really going on in here. Once we've got our 4 lines, the next thing we're going to do is to draw another rectangle. The corners of this rectangle will line up with each of the lines that we drew back to the horizon line. So essentially, it'll create a smaller rectangle. Next, let's draw one below the horizon line and see how this might be slightly different here. We'll draw lines from all 4 corners of that square backwards to the vanishing point. Now here again, we'll draw a smaller square. Remember, the corners of this smaller square should line up with the lines that we drew going backwards in space to the vanishing point. Now our three-dimensional cube is completed. Now let's draw a third cube, but this time we'll place it above the horizon line. Again, we'll start by drawing the square. We'll draw lines from all 4 corners to the vanishing point, and the next step is to draw a smaller square. Just allow the corners of that smaller square to line up with the lines of perspective that we drew receding backwards in space to the vanishing point. And there's our cube. After that, you can do a practical exercise with me, which should bring a little bit more clarity if you're still unsure about what one-point perspective is. So we're going to extend 2 guidelines, also called converging lines, from the vanishing point to the top front corners of our square, and also 2 to the bottom corners. If it's below eye level into the left, we can see both the top and the right sides of the box. The depth dimension will recede back to the vanishing point, and the height and the width dimensions will always stay the same. Height will always be vertical, width will always be horizontal, never on an angle. I can erase the lines that I no longer need to show you the final shape of the cube. Go over the edges of the box to darken them up. Now try the same exercise but raise the box above the horizon line. In this one, the bottom of the box recedes back to the vanishing point. Draw the vertical edges down from the 2 top back corners where they intersect with the converging lines. You can also try different sizes and make it a square or a long rectangle or a narrow one. Experiment with different boxes above and below the horizon line, to the right or to the left, and try changing the width and the height of each box. Keep practicing so you can really get the hang of it. Now try moving it over to the right so you can also see the left side of the box. The sides of the box are depth planes, like the top and the bottom of the box. So they will also recede along to the vanishing point. Lastly, I'd like to give you some practices to do. You can try drawing some rectangles or squares and fill the whole page to begin with. And then use 1 point perspective the way you just learned to make these 2D shapes look 3D. Or you can try drawing out some converging lines, spreading out from the vanishing point, and then use them as guidelines to draw the cubes. Try filling a few pages with these practices. And to challenge yourself even more, try drawing the cubes freehand without using rulers. This can really help to understand the concept better. Your lines may seem more wobbly or messy, but this is totally fine. In the next tutorial, we're gonna learn how to draw more complex forms in 1 point perspective. We'll practice some shapes together, like in this example in here. I tried out some shapes, numbers, letters in this practice. And we're also gonna learn how to draw boxes next to each other, a box inside or on top of another box, and some more practices. So don't miss it. And thanks for watching guys. I'll see you soon in the next tutorial. Bye now.